Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the All Sports Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Lachlan Turner.
I'm another one of your co-hosts, Liam McDonald. And
Hi, and I am your third co-host, Sumit Kadav.
And the links to our socials will be in the description down below, so be sure to check those out. I suppose.
We've got plenty to talk about today. It's going to be interesting to see.
Including a couple of silly things, one that could destroy a sport, at least in my opinion, and just other things as well. So
it's going to be interesting to see if we can keep it around an hour. Might go a bit longer today.
Well, that's all right. That's why we started recording at an earlier time than we usually do.
All right. So,
before we fucking start off with the practice matches, how's everybody's weekend?
Oh, C-grade train is onto the grand final, baby. Choo choo, stopping all stations on the way to Sweeney Reserve to take on Narry.
You took a couple of wickets, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like 2 for 22 off my 8 overs.
That's all right.
Got a wicket, second ball. Guy absolutely smashed the ground. Didn't hit the ball. We went up. Umpire gave it. Happy days.
Give him a send off?
No, I didn't give him a send off. I was running straight to the keeper.
What talking fast baller are you?
I ran straight to my keeper and I fucking celebrated with my team. I don't need to give send offs. I'm a good bloke.
Exactly.
No white line fever here,
It's club
mate.
cricket, Lockie. You can't give everyone send offs. Not everybody can be like me.
I would have thought that was just a non-negotiable.
Okay. The 6th or 7th wicket we took, our keeper gave the player a send off.
Oh, Cooper.
Cooper took a catch right and then ran right up to the guy and yelled at him, "I don't drop catches."
Oh, he's got
fucking funny.
Oh my god.
Let me guess, is that because that like the bloke dropped the catch when you guys were batting?
No, we bowled first. But he just ran. He got really excited after he took the catch and just ran. And it just so happened that the direction he ran was towards the batsman. And he just shouted, "I don't drop catches."
Oh, so it was an unintentional send-off.
It was so fucking funny.
Yeah. That's all right.
But yeah, so we kept them to 7 for 121 from their 36.
Oh, it's not bad.
And then
you guys started off a bit bad.
Yeah, we were 4 for 6 in the 4th over.
Oh no.
And then we ended up getting it, I think, 6 down with 4 or 5 overs to go.
Jesus.
Yikes.
The Prince, Dan Willis, with an unbeaten 84.
Oof. Let's hope you guys don't do this in the granny.
That's all right.
I've not. We need a bit more of a
bit. You needed your top order to
top order wagging.
I don't know how a top order can fucking wag when they're supposed to be scoring the bulk of the runs, but that sounds fucking.
You need to give your top order a stern talking to. Like, this is the granny. Don't mess about. Score runs.
Fucking start off slow and then fucking build it.
Wait, are you telling me neither Jai nor Sanjeevi scored anything?
Jai scored a couple, like one, and then I think he nicked off. And then Guesty absolutely smashed one, like out of the middle, absolutely smashed it, and the bowlers somehow caught it. Like if the bowler didn't get a hand or like his body behind it, that was a boundary.
Oh,
absolutely smashed it, caught. And then Sanjeevi hit one to cover, and cover took it. And then Mark got given LBW. And apparently, from what Mark said, hit him in line of leg stump and would have missed leg stump.
Okay, but let's be fair. Mark never thinks he's out. So
yeah, no, but yeah, he was not happy when he came off.
He is never happy.
But yeah, Chris Kelly Watts, Smelly, fucking. He scores quickly. He's there for a good time, not a long time normally. He was
Mm-hmm.
4 off 40 at one point.
Ooh,
I know. He was fucking knuckling down and playing some defense.
ooh.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it was actually something to behold because he just walked down the pitch to block it and then scurry back.
What?
That sounds like that sounds like somebody here. He'll just take a leap down the wickets.
Oh yeah, I kind of do that. I just
Yeah.
leap down the wickets out of nowhere.
Good grief.
How did Box Hill go?
Well, despite the loss, they're in the finals. I didn't realize that the percentage we actually had was actually very good. Batted first. Kind of got off to an awkward start. We lost the wicket with the last ball of first over, and the batsman was not happy. And I think we were like 3 for fucking 30 at one point. The only one to really score runs was our fucking Pommy, our Pommy opener. Scored about 65 and then went out, and it's like, oh no. And he even, and I spoke to him after. He's like, and he says, and he said this. He actually has said this every time he's made a 50 and gone out. He's like, should have gotten 100 there, but it's like, oh well, look, you still did all right out there. That's what I said. And yeah, what did we make? We ended up making 160 in the end, which I think we were 5 for 121. Then we lost fucking 2 wickets in a row, like within 2 balls. So we would then,
Dang.
yeah, it was 5 for 121. Sounds a lot better than 7 for or 7 down. And then in reply, their openers got off. They got them off to a all right start. Actually, they got to about 30 odd before they lost their first wicket. Then the captain for them came in. Hit probably one of the biggest sixes I've fucking seen. Our bowler's just like bumped it into the pitch, and he's just fucking gone, stepped back and just gone fucking whack.
Thank you very much. Don't bowl there, son.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad. And then he got himself run out. And well, yeah, it was a bit like, oh shit, what's gonna happen, type of stuff, because we had them like 4 for 80 odd, 90 odd, and it was like, and from what the other scorer was telling me, they said they'll either make the runs or they'll get out quickly. So, and I was obviously hoping that they'd go out quickly, but no, they ended up making it 6 down. But mind you, by 16th over, so my sub-district, it's 45 overs in a one-day game. Around the 16th over, they needed less than 100 runs to win.
So they just came out of the gates and started scoring?
They did.
They were there for a.
They didn't get the winning runs till the 43rd over. So
they had to knuckle down.
Yeah, the bowling was all right until like the last couple of overs when they really wanted to go after, because at one point the run rate per over got up to about 5, like just a tick over 5. But next week the semi-final in Werribee, which is where the VFL team play, I'm pretty sure. And I've found out that they've actually won the last couple of flags. So
Werribee, yeah.
They're a finals team. So we ended up staying in 5th spot despite the loss. So that's all right. Thankfully, the team that was below us, well, not really thankfully, because, you want the best teams in there. They ended up collapsing. They needed like 13 or 16, and they were 7 down. They ended up getting, I only made like another couple of runs and then got bowled. And because of that loss, they got knocked out because a team that needed to win won.
Dang, that sucks.
Yeah, look, it wasn't like, so despite the loss, it's always a positive. I'm obviously going to be going into next week hoping that, bless you, that we get the chocolates.
So is it 4th versus 5th and 2nd versus 3rd, and one gets a week off?
One plays 6.
Okay. So
2 plays 5. So we play Werribee. because they finished second, and third place fourth. So it was kind of like how the old AFL final system where like one played 8, 2 played 7 before they kind of made
top 4 and all that.
Yeah, which fair enough. But yeah, so and that was kind of my kind of weekend in terms of like cricket scoring at least. But well, moving off from cricket, well, I know, and obviously the AFL practice matches have started. So like obviously we know that there's only
they've started and finished. I don't think they play another one next week. I think
they don't, which is stupid. I think they need to play 2 at least.
Well, isn't that what that match simulation weekend was?
Supposedly, but I mean, I don't know. I just like, I don't know, but like you could tell the teams that were just there to just get their basic fitness. And you could tell with some of the teams selected that they were meaning business, like Melbourne, they meant business. Well, Brisbane meant business.
Brisbane's team looked pretty full strength.
Most sides pretty much went in full strength, or as full strength as they could go, because obviously, you know, certain teams have certain injuries, like St Kilda without their best forward in Max King. But
and Geelong didn't have Hawkins, and I don't think they didn't have Hawkins or Cameron.
So yeah, but I mean, the one practice match I want to talk about in particular is the St Kilda Essendon game. Now, the Bombers lost, and the win did at Moorabbin, and considering that I kind of live along, you know, that kind of like line area, I know how windy you can get. And there's no excuses because like it gets pretty breezy down where Essendon train.
Windy Hill or Tullamarine?
Tullamarine, well, both. The hang-up.
Yeah, there's a reason it's called the old ground was called Windy Hill.
You would assume that they'd be equipped to the conditions.
No.
3 goals, 14.
Well, I guess that's promising in that you got the shots, you just didn't convert them.
Peter Wright kicked 1 goal 4.
I'm familiar with Peter Wright's ability to be inaccurate on occasion.
Only because you placed a bet on him.
Particularly against St Kilda.
But, and I know that sounds negative, but you got to look at it on the positive side. He's had 5 shots on goal. Like, that's
pretty good for a preseason hit out.
And for a key forward. Like, if you have a key forward having 5 shots on goal and, you know, say they nail 4 of them, they've done their job. Jai Menzies, Menzies for me, I feel like should be starting in the best 22 over guys like Will Snelling, because while we only had 9 touches, like if he gets, say, lucky on the weekend 7 kicks, 3 of those need to be goals. But obviously, as he gets more experience, those games may happen. But he laid 6 tackles.
Ooh, bit of defensive.
6 inside 50. I'm pretty sure 6 of them, like majority of them were inside 50. So
I think Essendon's going to have a really scary small forward line
in the future. Yes, like you got Menzies, Owen Davey Jr. was pretty good. Like, well, no, he was solid in his first hit out.
Is he likely to be there round 1?
I think he'll be there round 1. And Tip and Woody, you know, those 3 there.
Jeez.
And then when you think about it, then they've got somebody that's so raw, but if he can reach his potential, look at Muntara.
I can't say I'm familiar with his name.
Well, he is an exciting young kid. Very good below his knees for a guy that's fucking tall. So, like, Menzies was, you know, solid. But the big concern that I had going into this season was the midfield, right? And other than, you know, adding in the addition of Setterfield and, you know, the Perkins, you know, finally getting some more midfield time, it was pretty much the same from last year, getting the centre bounces, you know, or, you know, that you just see around the contest, the midfield. Merritt, Parrish, Shield. The Bombers got belted by 31 in the contested football. And when I
Did
say
you just say
belted,
31?
they won the clearances but got belted around the contest. Now,
How do you? Yeah, okay. But how? How do you win the clearances but get belted?
do you think I know the answer to that? I don't. I
I don't
actually
think the
don't.
coaching staff. I don't think the coaching staff.
Essendon's best midfielder in both the match sim and this has been Setterfield, because what we brought him in to do, he's done. Get the hard ball. He had about 26 possessions, 16, 17 of them were contested. He's doing his job.
Wait, who's doing the job? Sorry, I'm
Setterfield.
Setterfield. Yep. Well, we knew Setterfield was going to be probably.
He's going to be up there for like one of the trade bargains of the year. Now, and then obviously, I know we spoke about it after the draft, but geez, Matthias Philippou.
Did Philippou look good?
I'm telling you right now, if I'm the Dons, I could be regretting drafting a guy who was injury prone going into his draft
When's
year.
is he likely to be back soon, Sartas?
I think not after the first month. He's there for the first month. But my point is, he had a injury history with his foot and now his knee. And yet the guy that let's be honest, everyone expected Essendon to take.
Well, Philippou kind of wasn't Sartas always up there, and then Philippou burst onto the scene later on?
Supposedly, yes.
But
my issue
early on, I'm pretty sure it was Sartas, but then by draft,
it was Sartaz and Wardlaw. Wardlaw was the main guy, and then Sartaz, and then Philippou, after kind of like the draft combine, he just started skyrocketing. But at the moment, I'd say that again. I know they haven't played a game yet, but in terms of having an impact on a club, I think Matthias Philippou is going to have a bigger impact now than what Sartas is.
Well, obviously, because Sartas is injured at the moment, and Philippou's.
But he's had an injury history.
Yeah.
And Essendon and injuries just don't. They don't go well together.
He is also young, so there's the potential that he can grow out of the injuries.
But there's a likelihood that it probably won't.
I know there's more guys that have not grown out of their injuries than have, but
considering that he's at Essendon, I don't think he will. Which means that they've wasted. But the point, going back to the midfield, Parrish, they made a mistake not trading him. I feel like he did not look interested. His defense on the and this is what I get frustrated with. Right, people just look at the numbers and go, and they don't think about it logically. Like, say for example, he lays 6 tackles, right, and you just go, well, that's good, but you're there live and you see that he doesn't chase. It's because he gets those tackles because he, starts around the contest. It's what he does after
the burst away from the contest.
But more so the defensive follow-ups. He doesn't do that. He just walks and jogs. Merritt did it a lot from what I heard, which doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, it could also be because it's pre-season, like a pre-season.
Also that, but remember what I was like last year? And everybody was saying it was just a practice game. And what fucking happened? First quarter, I said, I've already given up.
Well, you at least waited till round 1 last year.
No, I didn't.
Did you give up in pre-season?
I was nervous after that pre-season
game.
You
were nervous, but it wasn't until round 1 where you're like, oh, no, we're done.
Yeah, I know. It was a bit like, oh, geez, like, what is going on? So, yeah, the other thing is, with some of the players that I just think are a bit, you've got to, we've got to, just, what do you call it? Like, they've got to play in the twos. It's plain and simple. Play in the twos. Harrison Jones, and here's why. He has been in the system for now. This is his 4th year.
Hold on, Lucky, your camera. Oh, wait. No, I think you're good.
He's been in the system for 4 years. He can't get the ball more than 5 times a game. I'm sorry, but
And the midfield, it's not like the midfield's not getting the ball down there.
exactly, they can get the ball down there. He just can't do shit.
Is he second tall or third tall?
He's about, or I'd say he's the 3rd tall, but he's taller than Wiedemann by about a centimetre or 2.
But it's the pecking order is definitely right Wiedemann, then Harry Jones, yeah?
I would assume so at this point, yes.
Well, given the money that Wiedemann's probably on.
He's not on much.
Yeah, but he's a guy you got from Melbourne. He wouldn't have come across if there wasn't some sort of guarantee that he would be.
Yeah, look, you have a point there. Like, I think that was when they made the deal with him. That was part of the reason, why you come across to Essendon. We'll give you your opportunities, but you're going to be playing second fiddle to give. Because, like, the bottom line was Peter Wright needed support after the year that he had. And
he did that with no one helping him. Imagine what he could do if there was actually a sidekick.
Oh, Stringer would be able to help him because the idea for him this year is to play him as purely as a forward. But people are going to keep blaming him for injuries. And yes, look, the player himself is part of the problem, but you also just can't deny the fact that there are just some players that just have an injury history, and sometimes it's just going to hurt them. Like, for example, I mean, you brought up a good example pre-recording, Jared Berry. If someone just knocks his shoulder, it just goes. So it's just that.
And Essendon example, you got Devon Smith. Remember when you got him across the Giants, and it's like, oh yeah, great. We've got Smith, we've got Shield, we've got Stringer. This is going to be great. And well, all 3 of them have been rather. Well, Smith isn't there anymore, but all 3 of them have been hit by injuries.
Exactly. So it's just been it's just one of those things. And I know when we record for our ladder prediction, there are going to be certain players, and I'm moving off from Essendon, but there are certain players that we're going to, obviously, and when I say it's going to be a long one, it's going to be a long one. Like, we're going to do stuff like,
we're going to dissect, we're going to in-depth.
Dissect the team, pretty much players under pressure and who who could take the next step into stardom. And I think for Adelaide, Darcy Fogarty could be that person.
Finally, I mean, it is a practice match, but he's finally had that game where it's like, yep, I'm here.
He's done that a few times. Last year, he played well.
And he got dropped round 3.
Yeah, but then when he came back in, he started playing well. He held his spot. This year, I think, is the year that we could see maybe he could kick 40 plus goals.
Well, that's a pretty good return.
I mean, you'd expect that for a guy with, his issue was that he was just not fit enough. Now he's fit enough.
So he's got that a full preseason under his belt.
Yep. And then the other player I'm thinking of is Errol Goulden.
Errol Goulden, yeah. Well, I've seen
Errol Goulden, yes.
I've seen people talking about how Errol Goulden for the Brownlow on the back of that game.
Well, it's not just that. You ask people at Sydney, he was training the absolute house down. And they were confident that he could have a very good, he was going to have a very good season. But I don't think they would have thought that he was going to get 45 touches and kick 3 snags, 9 clearances in a practice game. Which, mind you, is still a fucking good effort. But
to be fair, I don't think Carlton were expecting it either.
Well, that's the thing. There are 2 players on that team that I just think, I think 2 of them are overrated. Like Charlie Kerner. You know what I think about Charlie Kerner.
discussed it on an episode of the podcast that I'm pretty sure we put out.
Exactly.
So,
But you know my thoughts of him. I think he's the worst gold medal winner in history. I think, who was it? Someone said that he could kick 100 goals this year. No. Charlie
I
Kerno?
think he's going to get the ball forward enough for both of them to get 50.
No. He won't. He won't win another Coleman. He won't kick 50 this year. But the other one, and this is purely based on fucking potential, but the thing is, though, he's in his mid-20s, like 23, 24. DeConning.
The thing is, 23, 24 is still young. Like, when you think about it, that's still incredibly young. I mean, he's been in the AFL system for 6 years, but that's
a
young.
long time.
It's still, Lockie, you're 23.
I'm old. I get what you're saying, but we've heard this for like 3 years now, and he might have shown some improvement, but he hasn't fucking. It's the same with fucking Draper. Everybody's like harping on him, but the ruckman on both sides, on the opposition, play fucking better than the players that they're all fucking salivating over. It's just like, will you stop, like, this is going to sound very inappropriate, but stop sucking their fucking dicks and actually wake up. I'm sorry, but DeConning played shit. Compared to the Sydney Ruckman, he was ordinary. Draper got fucked. He may have won the hit-outs, but he got fucked over by Rowan Marshall.
Yeah, there has to be a certain point where you can stop looking at how good a guy could be and start looking at how good he is.
But it's like, who was it? Kane Collins said he could be the next $1 million player. No, he's not.
Good thing Ken Collins isn't in list management, or there's probably a list manager you dislike more than the Essendon guy.
We don't talk about that. But I mean, it's just like Jackson. He hadn't shown that he was worth the money, right? He hadn't shown.
Well, he had shown glimpses of how he could be.
When they won the flag, yes. But when you compare his final series that year compared to his most recent final series, where he fucking shat the bed and looked so disinterested, it's like, what version? You don't know what version you're going to get.
That's probably because he was already on the plane to Fremantle.
Yeah, maybe in his mind, but then that tells you more about the player than, well, actually, could probably tell you a bit about the club and the player. That the club is stupid enough to hand such a overrated player that type of money, but then also the player, because like he's just not he's not there for the team. He's there to just get his paycheck. Which, look, I mean, I know everybody does that for work, but like he just didn't look like he cared. So, but moving on from that, and we'll talk about a specific player in the NFL, and it's leading up to the draft. Now,
so we're talking about a draft prospect,
a draft prospect, yes. Now, in all drafts, there is this one prospect that when the combine shows up, they just skyrocket. But they're unknown. Like, when I say unknown, like, you could see the raw talent, in their NAB college basketball and even, college football, but they're just unknown of where they're going to be placed, and you just don't know whether or not they're going to be stars or if they're going to be ordinary. Last year, if you recall, it was that Malik Willis, where we had him top 10 and he ended up going all the way down to the third round.
Actually, you know what? Why am I getting all? You were the one that pretty much ran that list, so that's on you, mate.
One for all. Wait, no. What is it? What's that saying? All for one for all. We took one for the team. You're supposed to take one with me, not fucking.
Nah, you can own that one. I'm gonna let you own that one.
Oh, okay. You know what? just okay. I'm gonna let you own the fact that we had Essendon in the top 8 last year. How about fucking that? Yeah, exactly. I just shut the fucking thing.
That wasn't my fault.
I put. You know what? I pulled. Let me fucking get it. I pulled the Uno reverse card from my pocket and fucking flipped the script on you. And you, yeah. See, look at your reaction too.
What a crock of shit.
Because you know I'm right as well. Like you see, you try to call me out on something, and it's like,
But you're not telling the whole truth. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I am telling the whole truth.
No, you know what?
I'm telling most of the truth.
I don't want to fucking fight over this for 2 hours, so I'm just gonna button it and take it.
Oh, here we go.
You know what, Lockie? I'm the bigger man here.
Is that
No, literally, I'm the bigger man.
anyway? Fucking, what are you doing to me? So like, but there's always that draft prospect in those sports. Yes,
The guy that the combine is built for.
but there is always that one. Am I?
Yeah, there's always the guy that's like,
This
whoa,
year,
where'd he come from?
it's a Florida quarterback, the Florida Gators,
Oh, quarterback.
Anthony Richardson. Now he's about 6'4" and 200 weighs 244 pounds.
Big
Now, he can do backflips, like just standing up.
athletic quarterback.
He is a very athletic, and if you
Shades
look
of
at some of his,
Lamar.
well, I'm quoting him. He said that in grade 11 or year 11, I don't know whatever he fucking said.
So it would be like as a junior.
He said he called himself Cam Jackson, a mixture of Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson. That's what he called himself.
Well, so wait, are you actually hyped about this guy, or do you just think he's
This
going to
guy-
be next in the long line of athletic guys that just play well for a couple of years and then just get injured?
That's the thing. Like, you look at his highlights and you look at his tape and you go, this guy has a lot of things. Like, he can fucking throw the ball. Fucking, he has an arm. He has a
So
cannon.
it's like Lamar and Cam Newton with an arm.
A bit, yeah. And some of his flaws, he's very raw and inaccurate. So a bit like Lamar, like what he's been criticized for. Now, this is a tricky prospect to fucking go, what do you do? Because he ran a good 40-yard dash. I think he did really well on the vertical stuff. I don't know his exact things. He broke, I think, the broad jump. I'm pretty sure I think I said it right. The one where you just stand and then you have to fucking jump as far forward as you can while landing on your 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The broad jump. He broke the quarterback record, I'm pretty sure, from what I saw.
So he is the best quarterback athlete in the draft.
Yes. That's what we're getting at. Now, you said it, you put it right when you said that, he could be one of those guys that could get injured. And that's the thing. He could. But right now, it's very hard to see where he goes in the draft.
Is it a strong quarterback crop?
The first two, very likely, who they are. And then after that, it's a bit like, who's next?
So he could be going for the third in line.
Possibly.
Are there many teams that need QBs?
Well, that's the thing. Well, I mean, the Raiders need a quarterback. The Packers might need one after Rodgers gives them the fucking shaft. The Jets need one.
I saw something. The Jets are really interested in Derek Carr, aren't they?
They said if he was to play with him, he'd be a Hall of Famer. It's like,
well, that was if he was able to win a Super Bowl as a Jet, he would.
Yeah. I suppose other teams. Look, Seattle in the future will need one. As much as we're on the Geno Smith hype train,
he hasn't written back yet.
He hasn't written back yet. If Daniel Jones leaves, there's a chance that the Giants may take a punt, trade up, or let Anthony Richardson slip Baltimore, because I think there's a increasingly likely chance that
that Lamar's not there anymore.
yep,
They could just
Carolina.
franchise tag him though and try another year, and then if that
If he
doesn't
rejected
work,
a contract that they gave him that was close to 250 mil,
yeah, but the franchise tag is a way for a franchise to keep a player, isn't it?
yeah, but that
Like
doesn't
the
mean the
player
player
doesn't have
has
a
to
whole lot
play.
of choice in that.
It doesn't mean that the player has to play.
Yeah, you're right.
So
What do you reckon? Do you reckon New England are going to stand pat with their young ones, or are they going to add another one and just
they'll stick with him, to the delight of like Buffalo and like Miami, who will just fucking shit on them all the time.
Miami might need one, depending on how.
Oh yeah, depending on whether or not Tua can fucking. You know, we started judo training so we can fucking like
protect his head better.
Yep. Like, it's so sad that it's actually gotten to that point where he has to do that. But it's like, well, what else can he
He's
fucking
getting
do?
rocked.
You know, he just needs.
What do you reckon, Denver? They're in the market, or are they gonna?
Let's ride.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Broncos country, let's ride. You know, after the first loss, he almost said, you know, what he used to say when he was with Seattle. I can't remember what he said, but he almost said it for Seattle rather than Denver, and it's like awkward. Broncos country, let's ride. Who else might need a fucking quarterback?
Do the Houston Texans have a quarterback?
Actually, yeah, no. Well, no, they have one of the early picks, so they'll fucking get one. They'll probably draft Stroud, CJ Stroud.
Who's Cleveland have? Is that
Deshaun Watson?
That's Deshaun Watson, isn't it?
We don't need to talk about him.
Carolina?
They need one, yes. But you get my point. Like,
so there's a few spots.
There's a few that need one, and you look at his talent. It's raw, but if you develop him well,
that's
fuck me,
one heck of a player.
That's going to be, you know what? That'll be fucking scary. I wouldn't want to have anything to do with that. No,
you would not want to be a defensive coordinator in that division.
I don't want to be a defensive coordinator in any fucking division. Like, when you think about it, like, oh, actually, no, maybe the AFC South, because, like, I mean, the fucking best team is, like, actual. Oh, no, Jacksonville, they'll be scary. But, like, other than maybe Jacksonville, you go, okay, I can fucking easily, well, not easily, but, like, I'll be able to shut down the other teams' offenses. But you go to the AFC, I think North, that's where you've got Cincinnati. Yeah, no, I'm not touching Joe Burrow.
Keep me away from Joey Burrow.
Yeah, keep me away from Joey. Then you go to the, NFC West, because you've got San Fran, and with all the fucking weapons they have, I'm just fucking throwing in the towel. I'm not fucking gonna.
If they actually manage to have a quarterback fit the whole time.
Yeah.
If they don't run out of quarterbacks again.
Maybe they need to have fucking 6 quarterbacks on the fucking roster rather than just 3 or 4. Which is a lot on a roster. And the fact that they all got injured, it's like, this team is just not fucking lucky.
No luck.
They got so unlucky. But, like, you look at San Fran and you look at their weapons, and it's like, oh, just fucking get a knife and stab me. I don't want to fucking face them. Probably didn't have to put it that way, but, like, you get my point. Like, there's just I shouldn't have fucking said that. That was a bit ordinary on my part. But yeah, like, I'll be curious to see what happens in the lead up to the draft. And when we get to that point, oh mate.
So I'm gonna go right now. What round do you reckon he goes in? You can obviously change it later when we actually like pay attention and actually deep dive. But right now, first gut instinct.
Gut instinct. I'm going to say early second. at the moment. I just think, yeah, early second. Like I can see him going late first round, but no, I'm going to go early second, I think.
I'm going to go right now, based off what you said, factoring in Raw, he's going to be a late second.
That's fair. Like when I next see you, we'll look his highlights up, package, and you'll go, whoo! Even my birds, just they're listening to me right now, and they're like, yeah, I think he could go number one. No, birds, you're wrong. Like you are majority of the time. See, I like bringing my birds into the conversation because, like, you know, it's.
You don't like just putting them down. You have a go at your birds a lot.
But you see, it's a bit of a love-hate relationship. They love it when I talk because, right, I mean, I try to know because they're fucking silent, so it probably isn't a good thing. But look, they talk me down too, rightly so. And we don't need to bring up a few instances to why, where I may have scared them a little bit, but
a little bit. Okay, well, you know, we'll just go with that a little bit.
Okay, no, a lot, but like, yeah. So what was the like? Well, that's really it with like NFL. I mean, we can get well, in terms of the prospects, like that prospect just it sits on my he's sitting on my mind. It's
We've
like
got plenty of time to talk NFL. How long is it till the next season? Like
a few months.
Silly season hasn't really started yet.
Oh, it doesn't fucking start for another couple of weeks. Once they've done the franchise tags, mate, this is what you'll be seeing me do. Well, when we record, I'll be like,
just looking at the phone,
and then I'll be like, breaking news. Lamar Jackson's been traded to fucking, or he's been cut by the Ravens or something like that. Just, bro, at this point, they may as well fucking cut him.
Do they do sign-in trades in NFL?
What?
Sign-in trades.
Do sign in what?
A sign and trade. It's a thing that NBA teams do. Or so
sign then trade.
Yeah, so like
I don't know.
Do you remember how the Golden State Warriors got D'Angelo Russell a few years ago?
Yes.
So what happened with that is that because it's a way to get the player more money, get the team that's losing a player more assets, and for the team that's getting the player to have more cap space to go after other guys, is that the player will negotiate a deal with the original team, so they get because the NBA rewards you with bird years for being with a team longer. So, like, for instance, Steph Curry with Golden State, a normal team in free agency could offer him a 3-year deal at like 33% of the salary cap or something. But Golden State could offer him a 4-year deal at like 37% of the salary cap.
Oh shit! Okay,
so
you
but
get benefits for staying.
So Steph Curry, if there was ever to be a trade, but I'm just using Steph Curry as the example. So he would sign with Golden State for the 4-year massive money, and then he'd get traded to we'll go the Lakers. And so the Lakers would send
imagine
back,
that team.
So the Lakers would send back like 3 first-round picks and probably like Anthony Davis or something. So
imagine that fucking.
Yeah,
that'd be fucked.
But yeah, so I imagine NFL doesn't have anything like that.
I don't think so. No. But as you said though, I can't wait for silly season. Silly. Who knows? We might see a fucking team just do something ridiculous and trade for a ridiculous player. Like we saw that with the NFL trade deadline. We saw Christian McCaffrey get fucking traded to the 49ers.
To the 49ers, it's like the rich get richer, and it's like they didn't have a good running back. Like they had an all right running back, but they didn't have a star running back, and they were still running the ball like crazy.
And then they fucking got probably one of the best dual threat running backs in the league. And it's like, how can a fucking offense who already ranks like number 2, number 1 in the NFL just get better? It's like,
It's not
eh.
fair.
And then we saw with the whole fucking NBA trade deadline with Kevin Durant and
Kevin Durant and Kyrie both moved. Just, oh my God.
so and
That was meant to
Russell.
be a quiet trade deadline too. That was like
Well, that's
the
what they were
biggest trade
saying. But what
deadline in like
happened?
6 years.
See, but what they say and what happens are two completely different things sometimes, and it was a completely different fucking thing. But I know you kind of wanted to talk about it last, but because we're talking about the NBA, we kind of have to not necessarily just talk. I mean, yeah, talk about the player, but also just athletes in general, right? So, was it yesterday or the day before that he did it?
I'm not 100%. The reports and everything came out like today. Like, so I think it would have been over the. Well, we're still on the
Friday or
weekend, aren't we?
Thursday
Would have
their
been
time.
probably would have been like Saturday for us, Friday for them.
Okay, so what we're getting at is and he's a Memphis player.
Yeah, Ja Morant. He's
Ja
Memphis
Morant.
Grizzlies franchise player. Like he is their best player.
The best player on the team.
He's been an all-star the last couple of years. Like he is one of the best young guards in the league.
And he's turned what? And he turned what? A pretty average franchise into like a.
Yeah, Memphis are arguably the best team in the West, even with Phoenix getting Kevin Durant.
Well, there you go. It tells you what you need to know. But he did something completely stupid. And I don't know if he was on a live or if he posted a story. I'm pretty sure he posted a story of him flashing a gun
In a nightclub.
in a nightclub, which itself does not sound good at all.
Well, he's been suspended for a couple games.
But then he came out and said that he was taking time away to think about all his problems. But it's like, I don't feel sympathy for him because it's like, you know what you're doing when you do something. It's not, for example, it's probably a really bad example, but it's a life one. You commit murder and then you make up all these excuses, but you've committed the murder. You knew what you were doing.
The problem with the saying, like with the murder thing, is that there's murder, which is premeditated, and manslaughter, which is it just kind of happened.
Well, the premeditated, the cases where it's a premeditated murder and they try to make the excuse that they were on drugs, but it's like, you know what you're doing in the act. So that's the thing. Like, you know what you're doing in the act of doing it majority of the time, unless you're like fucking, like, unless you've had so much to drink or you've just been fucking juiced up on drugs. Which, I mean, that itself is bad. Like, both of them are bad. But unless that happens, there are no excuses for your actions. So I don't feel any sympathy towards the bloke. And I know it's probably going to sound harsh for a lot of fucking people, but I'm sorry. I just don't feel, I don't have any sympathy for a guy who goes and does fucking something like flashing a gun at a camera, and you're one of the better athletes in the fucking sport. You should know what to expect.
Well, that's the thing, and it's not even that. It's like it's not just that. He's like one of the young stars of the league, so he's like a role model for a bunch of kids, and they're gonna see shit like that, and it's like, dude, really?
But we've seen there are so many athletes that do it. Like, I'm just trying to think of one actual, like, really good athlete that's like a really good role model. Like, it's
like, what are you saying? Like, perfect role model, like nothing. Like they haven't done anything that would be like, you don't want your kids doing that.
That's what I proclaim.
It's really hard to find an athlete like that because there's always an element of white line fever. Like there's always gonna be something.
Well, they give back time to the fans of the community. They're involved in so many charities. Those type of role models are really, really good.
Yeah, you could say like Steph Curry is that sort of role model, but then you also have the incidents where he gets ejected for throwing his mouth guard into the crowd.
I
and
don't find
endangering
that
himself.
bad. I just find that as intense passion, which you kind of, you know, there is a bit of, you know.
Yeah, but you also then don't want kids turning around and piffing their mouth guard when something doesn't go their way when they're playing their basketball game on a weekend.
No, you don't. But I still think, look, there's that I find completely different though to like fucking waving a gun
Yes,
at a fucking camera.
but the point was that
Yeah, no, I get your point. I get your point. Yeah, look, no, okay, well, yeah, in saying
there
that,
are
look,
different levels to what they did.
yeah, completely different. Like, if somebody's throwing their fucking mouth guard, look, that's easy to fucking control. Like, that it's easy to fucking, you know, just keep that under control. You can't control a fucking player like flashing a gun.
Yeah.
It's like, how fucking stupid can you be? But that's the thing, though. Why does it have to be when they get caught doing something that they're all of a sudden so fucking sorry?
Because
It
they
should
don't
just
have
be.
to be sorry until the point they get caught.
So then nobody should have sympathy for him.
Yeah. Because the thing is, right, he's probably just seen it as fun and games, having a bit of fun, and then it goes out, and then it's a big deal, and perhaps he didn't view it as that big of a deal, and now he does because well, at least he has to publicly say he views it as a big deal, so it washes over and doesn't become
Do you think people believe that though? Unless you can kind of tell when someone's only sorry when they get caught or when they're genuinely sorry. Like, for example, Bailey Smith. He's not sorry for what he fucking did. And we don't need to revisit what he did. Jack Ginnivan sounds like he was sorry. I'll be proving that in the near future.
It could be. It could also be that they're not necessarily sorry for what they did, but they're sorry for how it looked.
Well, Bailey Smith would be because
he was definitely sorry for how it looked,
but he's not sorry for doing it.
Yeah,
at least that's what it looks like from where I sit. I don't know where you sit with that, but
from a very outside, absorbing what the media has presented to us, not knowing like anything about the guy. Yeah,
it's all very, very, very strange, if you ask me, with why players choose that type of pathway. You know, look, they could do something wrong. For example, you know, like, I don't know, fucking, they've had too many drinks and, you know, they've ended up fucking walking nude down the street. Like, yeah, look, that's fucking bad, but it's not fucking flashing a gun or fucking snorting stuff on a toilet seat.
I mean, it's still a pretty bad look.
It's a bad look, but it's, and yes, they'll get in trouble for it, but it's not as bad as that.
I don't know. Indecent exposure in public is generally,
it's bad, but they can't get in. They won't. Well, they'll get a massive fine for it, yeah, and they might spend, you know, maybe a couple of nights in jail, but or prison, or actually same fucking thing.
They are the same. But I think, I don't know. I think technically there's a difference, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, compare that to like fucking snorting an illegal drug in a toilet seat. That's worse. Flashing a gun, a weapon at a camera.
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's worse than that. That, like, you just got to pick and fucking choose the wrong things that you do. I'm not saying fucking do the wrong things. Fucking please, everybody, do the right thing. But just fucking hell, just don't even pick and choose. Just don't do it at all. That's what I'm fucking saying. I don't know why I'm trying to beat the bush.
This is the second week in a row where we've done something along the lines of
do something bad.
Put in distinctions, and it's like, wait, no, why are we putting in distinctions? Don't do it.
Exactly. Well, I mean, look, it brings out a funny side. It brings out the funny side of it, though.
There is no funny side of it because it's bad. Come on, Lockie.
You know, I'm sorry, but I'm thinking back to the Ginnivan thing, thinking, how the fuck can you snort something on a fucking toilet seat? That is just
I don't care. I've never thought of it.
I've never thought of doing it, but it's like of all the places that you fucking snored something on, why a toilet seat?
I don't fucking know.
Well, anyway, moving on. Don't do that. Never, ever, ever get yourself in that situation.
What the fuck?
What does their life come to? We're giving life advice of what not to do.
No, I'm not. I'm staying out of this. This is not. You know how you lumped the Essendon being up in our prediction on me. This is all you, partner. This is all you.
Except you will take responsibility for some of this as well because you've got this all on record. Silly, silly, silly.
I mean, when we were plotting the course of today's episode, I was just gonna. I was not the one that mentioned that we need to talk about this. Yeah, no comment, huh, punk?
No, I was gonna no, before you fucking started rumbling on, I was gonna say, well, we had to because it's something big.
Oh
to
yeah.
Start. Exactly. So fucking take the L. Well, I suppose this brings us, well, in terms of taking the L, the Indian curators took the biggest L that I've seen.
You know why though? What's funny about it though is the only reason they took an L and got a poor rating is because India lost.
That's exactly right.
If India won, that would have got the same rating as the other two pitches,
which was average.
Yeah.
You know what I just say? Cry, cry, as the Indians told us to do. Cry, cry. It's just a fucking pitch.
Learn how to play spin.
Learn how to play what's Kuhneman? He's a
left arm spinner. What Jadeja and Patel have been doing to us, but mostly Jadeja because Patel hasn't done shit.
Wait, that's right. Is the left arm leggy?
I'm pretty sure Patel and Jadeja are both left arm offies.
Well, learn how to play Kuhneman.
Yeah.
Fucking flogs. But yeah. Look, obviously, there's no bias. Obviously, all three pitches have been fucking shit. The third one's probably been the worst out of the three. Let's be completely
because the Aussies figured out how to bowl on it early, not just the Indians.
Well, not just that, but I think at least look, they had some success. Well, only two batsmen, in my opinion, have really had success: Khawaja and Hanscom. Hanscom has to be in the side until further notice. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it gets really tricky in the Ashes because then one of Hanscom or Head has to open.
Head, who the fuck's who would get dropped?
I know that's the point though. Because they're gonna. Wait,
who are you saying's got to come back in?
They're gonna try put Warner back in.
No, they're not.
They will.
From what I've seen,
they're gonna try.
They're not going to.
They might be saying now that they're not gonna try, but they're gonna try.
They're not. They won't. They will. They try, but they won't do it because
this is the same selectors that dropped Trad, our best performing bat over the summer, because he can't play spin in the first test.
But the thing is, though, like, from what I've heard, that's just not going to happen. Things have fallen out, apparently, between Warner and higher up. So, well, that's from what I've heard. So, I mean, if it's true, hip, hip, hooray. We don't get to see us be 1 for fucking 5 after 3 overs.
We'll be 1 for 15 because Trav Head's whacked a couple of boundaries and then...
I'd rather be 1 for 15 than 1 for 5.
Yeah, and also, just something I need to put in here. How un-Australian was that from Marnus, denying Trav Head a chance at a 50? By an absolute slog to mid-wicket to hit a boundary to win the match when Trav Head needed one run.
See, if we had to place a bet on it like we did a few years ago about a certain player scoring a 50 and I said I was going to buy a drink.
Burns would have got dropped for that. If Marnus was there, Joe Burns would have been dropped because he wouldn't have scored that 50.
I still can't believe that you have some fucking fascination with that player. He is so shit.
What's wrong with Joe Burns? I'm sorry. I take that back.
You're a better batsman than him.
No, I am not. That's
yes, you
harsh.
fucking are. Hey, I don't see a fucking massive gap between
I've
bat and
scored
play.
11 runs this season, mate.
Fucking
11
more.
I've played 13 matches and I've scored 11 runs.
11 more runs than fucking Joe Burns in a Boxing Day test in
I have an
2019.
average of 5.5.
That's a better career average than Joe Burns.
No, it isn't.
Shut up. Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
I know it's not, but the gap between bat and pad, you could fit two of you in there. Like, that's how fucking big it is.
I'm pretty skinny, mate.
That's it, but it's still that's how big the fucking gap between his bat and pad is.
Yeah.
So
you know what? Get him to open the Ashes.
he opens the Ashes. We're 1 for none. He'll get what happened to him in the 2019 Boxing Day test is going to happen to him in all the fucking Ashes.
Well, in terms of openers they could bring in, it'd probably end up being either Bancroft. Well, it wouldn't be Harris because apparently he's not versatile enough.
No, he's not. And he's fucking shit. He has a fucking career average of 25. And he's had 4 fucking chances.
So literally it would be Bancroft then.
I'm cool with that. He's got form in the Shield.
So is Harris.
Harris has had fucking 4 chances. Bancroft's had 2. Bancroft needs to catch up with chances.
Bancroft got suspended for 9 months because he cheated.
And then he got back in and then got dropped. So he's had 2 chances. He needs to have a third.
Okay, whatever. Anyway,
Look, no.
India series. We're talking about the India series, not about the Ashes. Fuck the Ashes. Who gives a shit about the Ashes?
You fucking started talking about the Ashes. See, I'm blaming this on you.
Did I?
Yes, you're like...
No, you said Hanscom has to be in the team until further notice.
You said they're going to try to put Warner back in for the Ashes.
Yes, but the only reason I started talking about the Ashes is because you were talking about how Hanscom has to be a lock for the team.
No, hang on. No, you're not putting the fucking blame on me.
No, this one's on you.
This one's on you.
You led me there.
Fuck off. You can't blame me.
Like the first time we talked to Sumit's missus and you led me to say something I shouldn't have said. This is on you. You led me there.
I fucking baited you hard.
See, exactly. See, precedent. You
I
bait
didn't
me
fucking
hard.
bait you this time.
Yes, you did.
Get fucked. Anyway, again, continue. After you guys decided to talk about the Ashes, let's get back to the India-Australia series.
But did you also see in that test match that a fast bowler actually had a period where he dominated the match?
I
it was actually, I mean, it sucked that it happened against us, but I was so happy to see a fast bowler and you had to have actually.
As a quick bowler yourself, you were very proud.
Finally, a quick taking some wickets over in India. I never thought I'd be happy to see it.
But yeah, mate, the main story of that third test, India learn how to play fucking Kuhneman. Actually, you know what? He'll do what Ashwin does, and he'll make a video called "How to Play My Spin."
Did he make a video?
How to play spin in India.
When did he make that?
Ages ago.
Test?
And after that third test, everybody was giving Ravi Ashwin shit. So it's like Kuhneman could go, how to play my left arm spin in India. Can you imagine the fucking hate that he'd get?
He probably wouldn't be allowed to tour India again.
Because you get fucking shot.
So you reckon Australia go unchanged into the next test?
Fucking oath. They go unchanged. Like, why change a winning fucking team?
Yeah, you got a good point there. Because I don't think Cummins. I think Cummins has already been ruled out. I don't think he's coming back. And then there's no one else to bring in, really.
No, you know what? This is what I reckon. This is my prediction for the fourth test. Fourth test. I thought it was a 5-test series. It'll be over in 2 days.
Like every other test in the series. True to form.
Yeah, going to be true.
Rohit Sharma said the other day. I saw him say something along the lines of, Pakistan have been playing test matches that were going to 5 days, and those have been boring. I'm paraphrasing heavily, but he essentially said those have been boring as fuck. We've been doing 2-day test matches. Those have been exciting. We've been making it exciting.
That's actually a 2-day test match is a bad look on test cricket.
Might as well just play a couple 1-dayers.
Yeah. Except instead of calling it your first innings, on the second 1-day, we'll just call it your second innings, and then we'll just combine them and see what we get. It'll be awkward though, like, you bat first, and then you bat fucking first in the second ODI. Then how the fuck does the scorecard look then?
Could you imagine if in the future test matches just turned into 5 1-dayers that are just played back to back to back to back to back?
Bro, how many players would you have to select in the fucking? You'd have to select 15, I'd reckon.
You'd have to have like a 5-day squad of like 22 players, and there has to be like rules about every player has to play at least 2 or 3 matches or some shit.
That's not. It'd be an issue though for somebody like Warner who'd get dropped after the fucking first one.
Why'd you drop me? Because we have to, mate. That's not acceptable.
Marcus Harris gets dropped and then goes complains. I was told I was going to fucking go over and I've done.
Why would we pick Marcus Harris for a 1-day?
I don't fucking know. It's Australia. Exactly. It's the Aussie selectors. What do you expect? Come on? You can't tell me that you think the Aussie selectors actually have fucking logic.
Why would they pick Harris?
It'll be the same selectors that drop fucking head. Like, that's the thing. Like
they dropped Harris too.
What?
They've dropped Harris too, and he's been scoring runs for fun at the top of the order, and he got told, you're not versatile enough. He's a fucking opener. What else is he meant to do?
He can't fucking open in Australia, clearly, because he's always gone by the fucking 5th over. Like, you look, okay, yeah, test match starts now. You look half an hour, 1 down, I already know who the fucking wicket is. I don't even have to look. Am I wrong with that thinking?
Well, he didn't play a lot with Warner, so yeah.
But if it was both of them, you'd have to go, oh, shit. Actually, which one was it?
You'd actually have to look. You have to make sure. But when it was 2 down, then you'd know.
Oh, no. Marnus can get out cheap every now and then.
That's if they actually catch him when he gives him the chance.
Bro, he's actually the luckiest batsman in the world.
I'm pretty sure that's actually statistically he's the most lucky as well. It's not just like.
So does that mean that he's actually not as good as what everybody makes him out to be, or is it just by?
I think it's just the way he bats is that he's going to give them chances. I think it's just the way he plays.
So he's a bit like a tail ender. He'll just give you chances, but you just got to fucking take them.
Yeah, no, except he's actually got some skill. I mean, no offense to tail enders. I am a tail ender, but most of the tail enders that score runs, aka Tim Southey, just fucking fucking swing as hard as they can and whack it.
Yes. How good was that test match day? Bazball, no more. Bazball, no more.
No, just you wait until they try and whack Mitchell Starc around the park, and then Mitchell Starc just takes their stumps. You miss, I hit.
That's what it's going to be like for him. Oh, okay, you've met me for 4 fours. All right, hit this one. Fucking is off stump, goes fucking flying into
the crowd. It'll just cartwheel all the way to the crowd.
No, not just to the fucking crowd. It'll be in space.
Oh, it's going to go see the moon, is it?
I'm going to go to the moon, rotate around, come back, and it'll come back in about 100 years' time, and they'll get to that ground and go, they'll be playing at the exact same ground, and they'll go, what the fuck is this stump doing coming back here? Then they'll have to fucking investigate it. They'll do whatever they fucking do to look at old shit. So,
oh my God, this is the stump that Mitchell Starc whacked into space. What the?
And then, they'll do their research and go, Aussie legend Mitchell Starc took this fucking stump with him after an English batsman.
Harry Brook tried to whack him for another boundary.
Fucking hell. After Harry Brooks, despite being on 200, tried to whack him and unfortunately missed it. And not only did his off stump go flying, somehow his leg stump went flying, but his off stump was still intact.
Not only did his off stump go flying, but his leg stump went flying as well while his off stump was intact.
Yep.
That my
Look.
brain hurts.
Look, who knows?
What have you done to my brain?
Look, we don't know if this stuff has happened before. It's possible. It's probably possible. It's probably happened.
Do you even brain?
Do you even fucking let me talk?
No, I don't. That's how these episodes go for an hour, is because I don't let you talk.
Or it's because like you fucking do something, makes me annoyed. I yell at you for fucking 5 minutes saying that, oh, you're the reason this, you're the reason that, and then we get back to talking about what we were talking about.
Why are you going after me so hard, mate? It's not that deep. It's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep.
Oh, you want to talk about deep? You wait until after recording. I'll tell you what I did to my good old mate Nick in a game that I played.
I have no idea what to say to that. No idea.
Oh, I don't know. You might enjoy hearing it.
All right. I think we've been talking for quite a while. Do you just want to wrap it up?
Yeah, you know what? We'll wrap this episode up. Obviously, we will send out our
Ladder prediction.
ladder prediction with
When
our
we record it.
which is going to be this week.
Hey,
See,
it's
I'm
not
positive.
up to me, buddy.
Sorry?
It's not up to me. You're the one that I'm trying to nail
Here
down.
we fucking go. Again, the blame, you're going to shift the blame on me.
Well, you're the one that made yourself busy all of last week. Sorry, Mr. Have to find time for me in your busy schedule.
I'm fucking sorry that I was trying to look for fucking work, cunt.
Hey, you don't have to tell me why you're busy. You just, as soon as I play, the week I plan, hey, you know what? Let's start doing a little, well, not necessarily little, but like standalone topics. Oh, yeah, we'll do that. Makes himself busy all week.
It was for a good fucking purpose.
Yeah, well, it just so happened the one week I planned to do something with you in the middle of the week, you find yourself busy. So it's like, you might just be avoiding me, and
No. What are you?
makes me sad, mate.
Fuck.
Trying to avoid me.
Does everybody see what I have to fucking put up with? This smart
What
ass.
you have to put up with, what I have to put up with.
No, it's what I have to fucking put up with. Listen to this smart ass cunt.
You're ashamed to associate with me, aren't you, mate?
No. What?
My feelings are a bit hurted at the moment. Can you tell?
My fucking feelings are hurt. What the fuck have you done to mine?
Go blow up some walls, you elite chunker.
You know, I might do that after we finish recording.
Oh yeah, well, that's what we were doing before you so rudely attacked me.
You attacked me. Don't even fucking start. Anyway, after, we'll send out our ladder prediction. We'll send out our footy tipping comp. When
we have to make that, don't we?
We have to make that. And so please join. We only had about 7 people and only fucking 4 people actually did the whole season. Except for one of them that stopped doing it was one of the co-hosts in here. And I can tell you it wasn't me. They just forgot to keep doing it.
Me? That sounds like something I might have done.
It's not what you might have done. You fucking definitely did that.
Okay, you know what? How about you stop attacking me and you just butcher the thing you butcher every week about the way people view the podcast. Go on, butcher it again.
No matter how you view the podcast, whether it's via Spotify or via our YouTube channel, keep doing it. We very much appreciate it, and we look forward to either you watching us or listening to us. Until next time, bye.
Toodles.